as Brock Jarvis.
Damn.
And here he comes.
Oh my goodness. Game over.
Whew. Keith Thurman had a great win, but is he back? I don't know about that.
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, what's good, Boxing Talk family? It's your boy, Dr. Boxing Talk, back for another YouTube video. Banger, man. Yes, sir. Yes, man. I know what time it is. The doctor's in the house, man. So check this out. Today, we just saw Keith Thurman make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? Because before, people were calling him Keith part-time Thurman.
Yeah.
Keith sometime Thurman.
Yeah.
Keith no time Thurman. But now he showed us that he's back to one-time Thurman. You know what I'm saying? With this, reinvigorating win and definitive win against Brock Jarvis. You know, it was very impressive. And, you know, he's talking about potentially what's in the future for him. You know, he forecast some of his fights, with one in particular being Tszyu.
Bullshit! 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 Bullshit!
And that'd be great, right? Because they even added a date that they're looking at. They're targeting the date of July 6th, which is cool, you know, right in the summer, for them to have a clash in Australia, assuming that Tszyu handles business like Keith Thurman did against Brock Jarvis. You know, Tszyu has to handle business against Joey Spencer, you know, and Joey Spencer and Joey Spencer and Tszyu will be fighting on April 6th, you know, so hopefully he'll take care of business quickly. But Joey Spencer is a tough cookie, you know what I'm saying? He is no slouch, and he's tough. He has a lot of heart. Go watch his fight with Jesus Ramos, you know, he has a lot of heart. So this is not an easy task. Plus, Tszyu has had a remarkable downfall. You know, his downfall has been sudden and quick, right? I'm talking about his downfalls up there with like Deontay Wilder. You know, after he lost to Tyson Fury twice, it was downhill from there. And then same with Jose Sniper Pedraza, right? After Pedraza lost to Gervonta Tank Davis and lost to Vasily Lomachenko, every single person that he fought, shared the ring with, that was of decent competition, a decent caliber fighter, they beat him, you know? So I think Tszyu he's on the cusp of suffering a similar fate as Wilder and Pedraza if he doesn't beat Joey Spencer, because, you know, his last two fights were L's, right? Sebastian Fedor, he lost, and a lot of people put that on that hellacious cut that he suffered, right? That severely impaired his vision and drained his energy with all the massive amount of blood loss. But then that fight against Bakram Murtazaliev, man, he put the beats on him. He didn't even know what happened.
What the fuck just happened? Like, what did I get hit with?
Yeah, it was like that, you know. So Tszyu definitely has to bounce back before we could talk about him potentially having a fight with Keith Thurman. Because if you remember, before the Sebastian Fedor fight, Sebastian Fedor actually was a replacement for Keith Thurman, you know, but Keith Thurman suffered a bicep injury. And then, you know, we're talking about Tszyu potentially fighting Virgil Ortiz, you know, and then you fast forward after Sebastian Fedor and Bakram Murtazaliev, Tszyu is fighting a lesser known Joey Spencer, who I do think is a game opponent. So I think it'll be good, but Tszyu should win. He has to, right? So we could look forward to that, man. But before we move on to that, you know, immediately, I want to take a pause to shout out Brock Jarvis, man. Brock Jarvis, man, he has a lot of heart, man. I'm telling you, it's either one or two things, right? Either he's a badass, you know, I'm talking about a gangster from down under, or he's incredibly retarded. Like, because, and the reason why I say that is because his last 8 fights have been at 8 different divisions, you know, 7 fights, but 8 if you include his most recent fight today against Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go with the former and say that he's gangster, because I don't want to be disrespectful and say he's retarded, you know. So I'm gonna go with the former as opposed to the latter and say that he's just on some gangster stuff, man. He's the epitome of a fighter demonstrating the fighting spirit. He's down to fight anybody at any time. However, you know, this is to his detriment, right? I think it would behoove him to become acclimated with a weight class. The reason why that stat is so essential to his success, or, you know, or maybe it's the reason for his lack of success. You know, his first loss was against Liam Paro at 140, and now his second loss is against Keith Thurman at 154. But like I said, it's an amazing stat, right? I pointed this out months ago to the people that come to the live stream. You know, we began real deep into the boxing because we really know our stuff, man. Shout out to y'all that come through. I mean, if you think about it, going from 122 to 160 as it pertains to the recognizable champions, that's like going from Naoya Inoue at 122 and fighting Janibek and Limkanuli at 160. I mean, that's like Pacquiao numbers, you know what I'm saying? That's what the legendary Pacquiao does. So I think it's just crazy for Brock Jarvis, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's incredible. It's incredible. I don't think anybody else has ever noticed this, right? And I said this many times. And yeah, he's had 8 fights, his last 8 fights were at 8 different weight classes. I'm talking about he went as low as 122 in 2019 to as high as 160 in his last fight before Keith Thurman, you know. So I just think that, you know, you're setting yourself up for failure, man. You should find a weight class at home that you could call home, and I think that he'll reap the benefits of that, because Brock Jarvis, he definitely has the heart to compete. You know, he got up after being dropped. He definitely has the physique and the athleticism and the build, and so I think that he's not a bad fighter. It's just that he's putting himself at a severe handicap with not being acclimated to any particular weight division. So I think that'll help him out if he does that. But big salute to him, man. He showed some heart. And big salute to Keith Thurman as well, man. So with Keith Thurman winning, I think it was a nice win. He did what he was supposed to do, especially coming off of a 3-year hiatus, right? I think this is his first time fighting in 3 years and his second time fighting in 5 years, right? So that's a crazy amount of time off. So any win after that is impressive. However, like I said, Brock Jarvis, he doesn't even have a weight class to call home, you know. So I have a limited amount of I give him all the credit, but it's a limited amount of impression that he could leave on me from this victory, because I look at it as somebody he's supposed to beat. Now, if he comes back and Tszyu beats Joey Spencer and Keith Thurman's able to beat Tszyu or somebody else that he's calling out, like Errol Spence, or I think he even called out Fedor and some others, then I'll be even more impressed. But I don't think that Keith Thurman and Errol Spence will happen, because if you know their history, Errol Spence said that he'll go to his grave before he fights Keith Thurman, because Keith Thurman did him dirty in the past when it was time for them to fight multiple times. You know, if you know, you know. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this. If Tszyu can handle business like Keith Thurman did, I look forward to them actually having their clash, and their clash coming to fruition on July 6th, according to the reports, man. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Big salute to Keith Thurman. And yeah, don't forget to smack that like button. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Y'all be easy.
From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.